morning, students. So far we discussed kinematics lesson. Okay, so now from today onwards we can discuss Newton's laws of motion. So this Newton's laws of motion lesson we can discuss. So in the Newton's laws of motion, that is our beloved scientist Sir Isaac Newton stated three fundamental laws. So three fundamental laws of motion, so which are named as the Newton's laws of motion, so which are famously known as laws of motion or Newton's laws of motion. So fine, see students. So Newton stated these three laws based on the ideas built upon by Aristotle and Galileo. So in the olden days, that is in the ancient world, that is in the olden days, so the Greek philosophers have a doubt in their mind. They have one doubt in their mind, that is, what is the natural state of an object? What is the natural state of an object? That is a question mark. What is the natural state of an object? That is a question mark they have in their mind. So then Aristotle, the great philosopher, thought the natural state of an object is rest. He thought the natural state of an object is rest because every moving object on the surface of the earth obviously comes to rest after covering a short distance. After covering some distance, it comes to rest if you do not apply any force on it. So Aristotle thought natural state of an object is at rest, but Galileo did not agree Aristotle's answer, and Galileo did experiments. So Galileo did experiments on inclined planes, smooth planes and inclined planes, very smooth and inclined planes. So he imagined a world where there is no frictional force, there is no friction at all. And we know, students, if there is no friction, I cannot hold this piece of chalk, I can't write anything on the board, and I can't walk, and we will not do so many our daily activities. So, and you know the answer, what will happen if there is no friction. So but Galileo imagined a world where there is no frictional force. So when there is no frictional force, and he did experiments on inclined planes. He did experiments on inclined planes. Okay, students. So that is. So he has taken. See students, like this he has taken the inclined planes. And on this inclined plane he dropped a marble. There is a smooth inclined plane, so there is no frictional force. So he dropped a marble. So we know that when it is coming down, it is picking up the speed, and when it is moving upward direction, its speed decreases, and we'll observe that it reaches to this point, and here it becomes. So we observe that since it is a very, very smooth surface, so it reached up to the same height, and in the second instant, what he did use his students. So he decreased the inclination. Second instant, he decreased the inclination. So this is the inclination here. Equal inclinations he has taken. Inclination means angle. This angle with the horizontal. Equal inclinations he has taken. So here angle and here angle is same, and very smooth surface, no frictional force. So frictional force is equal to 0. So frictional force is 0. There is no friction. So when it is coming down, it is picking up the speed. When it is going up, its speed is decreases, and you have observed it reaches to the same height. So the marble reaches to the same height from what height we have dropped it. And the second instant what it has done is, the second instant, okay students, so same inclination he has taken and he dropped the marble, and but he decreased the inclination. So this angle he reduced. Here angle is more and here angle is less. And again observe, so the marble while coming down, picking up the speed due to the earth attractive force, while going upward direction, speed decreases. And again he observed it reached to the same height only. So even though he decreased the inclination also, the marble keeps on going and speed decreased, and it reached to the same height, and the final velocity becomes 0 at this situation he has observed. Okay students, again here also it is reached to the same, what is that, inclination only. These are the inclined planes. Okay students. Okay, so now what, see students, here equal inclinations has taken, dropped from the some height, reached to the, it has reached to the same height. Okay, and again here also from the same inclination dropped, but inclination decreased. Observe that while it is going up, speed is decreased, and it reached to the same height only. Okay, then in the third instant, what he has done, you see students, in the third instant, what he has done, the same inclination he has taken, but now it became completely, there is no inclination. So here it is keep on moving with decreasing speed until it reaches to the same height from what height it has dropped, because there is no friction, so its speed should become 0 if it reaches to the same height. Okay, and here also he dropped the marble from the same height. Okay, and here is a question mark. What will happen? For example, while coming from here to here, it picks up a speed of 5 meters per second. If it picks up a speed of 5 meters per second, what happens to this speed? When it is going up, its speed has to decrease. It should reach to the same height. Then its velocity becomes decreases, because if it goes up, its speed decreases. But here there is no chance to going up, so there is no reason to speed up and there is no reason to slow down. So it keeps on moving in the same straight line direction. It keeps on moving in the same straight line direction because no friction, nothing is there, no frictional force, and perfectly smooth surfaces, smooth planes. So there is no reason to speed up, there is no reason to slow down. So it keeps on moving in the same direction with same speed only. Then it is said to be in uniform motion. In this situation, we will say that it is said to be in uniform motion. So it is said to be in the uniform motion. Uniform motion means constant velocity only. So constant, so velocity. Okay, it is said to be in uniform motion. So Galileo concluded that uniform motion is the natural state of an object, because if the object is moving with certain speed, see, when coming down, speeding up, when going up, speed decreases, but when going on a smooth horizontal surface, there is no reason. Smooth horizontal surface, no frictional force, no air resistance force, and nothing is there is no reason to speed up and no reason to slow down. So it is keeping on moving with the same speed in the same direction. So it is moving with a constant velocity, that is, it is said to be in uniform motion. So he stated uniform motion is the natural state. So Galileo's observation, uniform motion is the natural state, which is the quite contrast to the observation given by the Aristotle. Aristotle told only rest is the natural state. Galileo told uniform motion is the natural state. But Newton, the ideas primarily developed by Aristotle and Galileo, Newton stated three laws which are named as the Newton's laws of motion. So for Newton's laws of motion also, so we have to remember that there is no frictional force and nothing is there. So then once an object is at rest, it will be at rest. If it is in motion, it will be in the motion forever until some external force is acted upon it. Okay students, so now we can see Newton's laws of motion. So definition we can see, Newton's first law of motion definition we can see students. So Newton's first law of motion. Okay students, so based on the ideas primarily developed by, who is that? So based on the ideas primarily developed by Aristotle and Galileo, Newton stated three laws which are named as the Newton's laws of motion. So what is the Newton's first law of motion? You see students, every object continues to be, every object or every body, every object or, so every object or body, every object or, so that is called body. So what is that? Every object or a body continues to be in, so what is that? State of rest. Continues to be in state, every object continues to be in state of rest or of uniform motion. So rest or of uniform motion. So continues to be state of rest or uniform motion unless compelled by some external so net force. So you understand the concept students. The same definition will be given in different meanings. Every object continues to be state of rest or state of motion, that's called uniform motion, until compelled by some external force. So if an object is at rest, it will be at rest. It cannot come from rest to motion by itself. We should apply some force and bring the body to motion. Similarly, an object is moving, we have to apply some force to stop the moving object. That force we may apply directly, or maybe due to air resistance force, or maybe due to force applied by the brakes, or some other causes, whatever, maybe some unbalanced forces acting on it and bring the object to rest. So that's why if an object is in motion, it cannot come to rest by itself. Similarly, if it is in the rest position, it cannot come into motion by itself. It needs some physical quantity to come from rest to motion and motion to rest. That physical quantity is called force. So there are two natural states. One is the rest and uniform motion. Rest to motion or motion to rest. Objects, they cannot come by themselves only. So to bring them from one state to another state, so we need one external cause. That may be a push or a pull or some effort, that is called force, which changes the object from rest to motion, motion to rest. It increases the speed, decreases the speed, it will do so many things. So like it changes the direction of motion, and it changes the size of the body, changes the shape of the body, and dimensions also it changes. So Newton's first law gives the definition of force. So importance of Newton's first law, you see students. So and also we should know one more quantity here, see students. To bring an object from rest to motion, so that is the inability of a body to change its present state by itself. So means, what is the present state? For example, if the present state is rest, so the inability of a body to change its present state by itself is called what you know, inertia. That's why Newton's first law is giving the definition of force and inertia. So Newton's, so what is that? First law. Newton's first law. Newton's first law gives the definition of, gives the concept of force and inertia. It gives the definition of concept of force and inertia. This is called importance of the first law of motion. So what is inertia? We have to know here, students. Inertia, it's a very important thing. Listen carefully. So inertia is the property of the matter. So inertia is the property of the matter. By that property, it cannot change its state of rest or uniform motion in a straight line. So just now in the Galileo experiments we have seen, the object keeps on moving because it is dropped from certain inclination and reached to horizontal surface, and it keeps on moving until it reaches to the same height. And what happens if you did not keep any upward inclination? Means it keeps on moving forever, where there is no frictional force, no air resistance force. That's why the inability of a body to change its state of rest or of motion is called inertia. Inertia means, so inertia is a property of the matter. It's a property of the matter or inability of the body. Inertia is the inability of the body. So inertia is the inability of the body to change its, what is that? To change its state of rest or of, so uniform, what is that, students? Motion. So this is called inertia. Inertia is the property of the matter by virtue of which it neither changes its present state or not tends to change it. It does not change its state by itself. It needs some external physical quantity, which is called what you know, force. So that's why Newton's first law introduces two things for you. One is the inertia, another one is the force. So this is the reason Newton's first law is also called law of inertia. It's very important, remember that, students. Newton's first law. Newton's first law is also called law of inertia. It is also called law of inertia. Inertia is just the inability or tendency of a body to continue its state of rest or of uniform motion in a straight line path. For example, we are going in a straight line path. We want to change the direction. We should apply some force. The object by itself, it cannot change its present state. So that's why Newton's first law is also called law of inertia. Okay, so what is the importance of Newton's first law we have seen. So Newton's first law giving the definition of force and introducing the concept one quantity is required. So it is just telling the quantity name. How much force it is required, it does not tell. So see students. Okay students, and Newton's first law. The first law gives, so it gives the qualitative measurement of force. Qualitative. So it gives the qualitative measurement of force. It gives the qualitative measurement of, what is that students? Force. So it is just giving the qualitative measurement of force, not quantity, because rest to motion, motion to rest, they cannot come by themselves. They need one quantity. So that is called qualitative measurement of force. How much force is required, it does not tell. So it is just introducing the definition. It is just introducing the definition of force. It is just introducing the definition of, what is that students? It is just introducing the definition of force. Okay, or it introduces the concept of force. It just introduces the definition of force, or introduced the concept of force. That's it. Just introduced the concept of force, but not the measurement of force, but not the measurement, but not the measurement of the, what is that, force. So these are the, so about this is a qualitative measurement, but not quantity. How much quantity of force required, it is not telling, but it is just introducing the definition of force. And Newton's first law, importance of Newton's first law means, that is called introducing the force, and it is also called law of inertia, we have learned. So inertia means, what is that? It is the inability of a body to change its present state by itself. That state may be rest or of uniform motion in a straight line. It cannot come from rest to motion or motion to rest. Inertia means, if you go through its meaning, inertia meaning in the dictionary, if you see students, resistance or opposition. So resistance or opposition to the So change in state. Okay students, so inertia means it is the resistance to change in its state of rest or state of uniform motion, that is called inability. Okay students, so inertia is just, so see students, inertia is the property of the body. You will have different definitions of inertia. Inertia is the special property of the body by virtue of which it neither changes its present state or not tends to change it. It does not changes its present state and not tends to change it also. Okay, or inability of the body to change its present state by itself also you can say. So and mass is a measure of inertia. Greater the mass, greater the opposition to change its state. For example, less mass is there, if you keep a less force, small effect it comes into the motion. But greater mass is there, big mass is there, you have to apply more amount of force. So greater the mass, heavier the mass, greater the inertia you can say. So that's why we will say mass is a measure of inertia. This point also very important. So mass is a measure of inertia. So mass is a measure of inertia. Inertia is measured in terms of masses. So greater the mass, greater the inertia. Greater the mass, so greater the mass, more is the inertia. So more is the opposition. More is the opposition to change its state of rest or of motion. That's why greater the mass, more is the inertia you can write. So more is the inertia you can write. So SI unit of inertia. So SI unit of inertia means we have to write SI unit of mass, because mass is a measure of inertia you are telling. So SI unit of inertia means SI unit of mass we have to write it. So SI unit of mass is kilogram. So kilogram, its symbol is kg, and CGS unit of inertia, CGS unit of inertia is CGS unit of inertia is SI unit of inertia is kilogram, CGS unit of inertia is, so what is it students, gram, and its symbol is G. Okay students, so what is inertia we have seen. So inertia means just what? Resistance or opposition to the change in present state. That present state may be rest or may be uniform motion. Okay students, so these points are very important. Remember students, SI unit of inertia is a kilogram and mass is a measure of inertia we have seen. Okay, now inertia is of three types. So now next point, inertia is of three types. So the first one is inertia of rest. So now inertia is of three types. The first one is inertia of rest. inertia of rest, which is also called as static inertia. Rest means static, no, which is also called static inertia. Inertia of rest or static inertia. Next one is inertia of motion. Next one is inertia of motion, and its another name is called dynamic. Motion means it is moving now, so dynamic. So dynamic inertia. So inertia of motion, or you can also call dynamic inertia. Another name is dynamic inertia. So inertia of rest you can call, or static inertia. Rest means static. And the third one is inertia of direction. Inertia of direction. Okay, students. And about these types of inertias. Okay, so we can discuss very clearly in the next class. Okay, students.